Good morning, everyone. I'm going to give it a couple minutes here before I start the presentation. This financial aid literacy will be on going back into repayment. Student loans are going back into repayment. The start date is actually May 5th, but we'll wait a few minutes. This will just be a kind of a touch-base presentation. It won't be very long, but I am open to any questions if you have any. You will also see on the screen that I'll have you'll also see on our screen that I'll have a dau@pstcc.edu. It's the email you can email us at with any questions if you can't get them answered here. But this is just really going to be a brief overview. I know how there can be a million questions going on. I'm going to wait a couple minutes before I start. Figure I'll give it maybe about 30 more seconds, and then I'll go ahead and I'll begin. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and begin. Again, I'm going to repeat myself from what I said a little earlier, just in case there's some new people. This is going to just be a big overall picture, an overall view. We can go into a lot of detail, and it could be a long little presentation, but we're just going to make this short. I'm always here to answer any questions. We can answer some questions here if you want. I'm thinking this little presentation shouldn't be any longer than 10 or 15 minutes. I know we got till 12. But again, I just wanted to bring to attention, we're going back into repayment. I'm David Barreto. I'm the manager here at Pellissippi in financial aid. And you can always stop by the Start Strong and see we have what we call a DAU, default aversion unit, who works with helping students with their repayment plan. But let's go ahead and begin this slide process here. With student loans going back into repayment, it's important to establish a payment plan that aligns with your financial situation. It's very important that you get a hold of your servicer. If you don't know who your servicer is, we can help you find out who that servicer is. I'm also going to cover a little bit in the next few slides on how to find out who your servicer is. And once again, too, if you're at the bottom of the screen, this email, you can email us. And these are some of my students who help you with finding who your servicer is, or going into repayment plan, or answering any questions that you may have. But dau@pstcc.edu will be able to help you as well. So questions to ask when beginning the start of paying student loans: who is your servicer? You can find that in a couple ways. I'm going to go advance the slide and then come back and forth here. So one of the ways you can find out who your servicer is you can go to studentaid.gov. Which is here. Studentaid.gov actually will answer a lot of your questions, if not all of your questions. If you log in with your FSA ID number, it will pull up your information. It would know who your servicer is. It'll tell you how much your payments are. It will tell you what your loan amount is. It's very important to do that. And I would also recommend that you update all your information, your email address and your phone number, because by law, it's required that the servicer contact you and let you know that you're back in repayment. And they, like every other month, will send you an email if you're like 30 days, 60 days delinquent. And then every other month that they're not sending an email, they usually make a phone call, but they want to keep you informed as much as possible. So one of the best ways to find out who your servicer is to log into the studentaid.gov. They're going to have a lot of the answers that you have. Studentaid.gov is also where you went to create your FAFSA and do your FAFSA. They have student loan calculators, so you can kind of play with the different amounts that you owe or how much you're going to pay. The payments will be. It's again, and it answers a lot of your questions, and it has some tutorials in there as well as little videos that you can watch and will answer a lot of your questions. When does a student enter repayment? A student will enter repayment if they have not entered repayment before. It's going to have a 6-month grace period, and then they're going to go back into repayment. If they've used up that grace period, they are going to enter into repayment when they go less than half time, when they quit attending school, or when they graduate. That if they've already had a payment plan started and then went back into the school deferment. I'm having a hard time talking today. Then it would go in 30 days after you're out of school. But otherwise, if you have never been in a payment plan, you're going to have a 6-month grace period. How can you see how much you have borrowed? Again, the best place to see that is to go to studentaid.gov. You log in with your FSA ID number, and it would tell you everything that you want to know. It's kind of like when you go to your bank and you create an account so you can log in and see what your checking is and saving is, move things around. It's exactly the same thing. And I know a lot of times people don't like to talk to the servicers because maybe they're a little concerned about that, but the servicers are here to help you. They're very, very nice. They would tell you of all the options that you can do. Plus, there's a studentaid.gov. You can also play with those different options and see what's going on. There's something that's called forbearance and deferments. Forbearance will put your payments on hold. They usually do them for up to 6 months at a time. There's different kinds of forbearances and different kinds of deferments. Deferment will put your payment on hold, but there's different kinds of deferments like unemployment deferment and disability deferment, different things like that, but you have to qualify for those. And once again, on studentaid.gov, those will be there. And if you want to go to your servicer, they will also be able to help you do that. I don't recommend, if you can help it, going on a forbearance, because that just means you do not need to make a payment, and it's not going to hurt your credit or anything like that. But it postpones your payment plan. So if you're on 10 years, it's going to make it 10 years and 6 months, and it's not getting any closer, and interest can accrue while you're on a forbearance. I would see what payment plan you may qualify for. There are some payment plans that students have qualified for that are as low as $0 a month, and yet that counts towards the whatever time your payment plan may be, if it's a 10-year or 15 or 20-year repayment plan. But those are the options. You should not have to worry about going into default if you cannot make any kind of payment, not even $0 repayment. Then the forbearance is kind of your last resort. You want to go ahead and do that so you don't get dinged, because being late on your payments will affect your credit score. And then if they have like 0 to 90 days, there's a little ding on your credit score. Then 90 to 180, you're going to get another ding on your credit score. And 180 to 360, technically a bigger one. After 360, your loans can go into default, which then goes to a guarantor, and you get a huge ding on your credit score. And you also will get a fee charge because it's going to the guarantor, which is like a collection agency, to try to get that money. So the best thing to do is while you have multiple choices, to set up a repayment plan while you have many options there. And the servicer, if you want to get a hold of them, will help you. If you want to call us at Pellissippi at the DAU, we can come in and our student will sit down with you. We've done 3-way phone calls with them, or we can even go through studentaid.gov with you together and show you what's going on, what's the best bet. So there are different payment options. There's the standard repayment plan. There's fixed payments over 10 years. Those payments are usually pretty high. A lot of people, when they see that, kind of gasp a little bit. And you can see if you qualify for other repayment plans. There's a guaranteed repayment plan. There's the extended repayment plan, which is fixed or graduated. So it's extended, and it could start, if it's graduated, it could start low and then go high. So at the end, You may have some high payments, but they figure you've been in a job, and so you're making some more money. So it starts low, goes high. It could also go a little longer than 10 years if they're going for the extended plan. And then there's the income-driven repayment plan, which it seems when I'm talking to students, that's usually the best plan for most students because it's going to be based on your income and it's going to need information each year on your income. So they're going to ask you to send your tax information. So it may adjust up or down from that. But usually the best payment plan, the lowest amount for the students are on the income-driven repayment plan. But if you want to get it paid off quickly, the standard repayment plan would be very quick. And those are just some options. And again, I just want to keep it basic right now. I think we can go into more detail. If you need some help, you can email or call DAU. So you want to evaluate your financial situation, assess your income and your expenses and your financial goals to determine which repayment plan suits you best. Tools like the loan simulator can help estimate payments under different plans, which I think is one of the best things. When I've worked with students and they've come in and we've gone to studentaid.gov and logged in with their FSA ID, then it knows all the information. It knows how much you borrowed, and you can do the calculator, and it'll show you kind of the different options of which plans would best fit you. So studentaid.gov really is a good tool to go to. It is very helpful. So for instance, this is kind of just one of the screenshots of the studentaid.gov, and it say like it'll give you some choices. I want to find the best student loan repayment strategy. I'm struggling with my student loan repayments. I want to simulate borrowing more. So it gives you different choices, and then you can play with different things and see what best suits you and what best fits your need, like we were just talking about earlier. The income-driven repayment plans are going to have plans like the pay-as-you-earn, and the revisited pay-as-you-earn, and the revised, pay-as-you-earn, and income contingent repayment plan. But those are some of the other plans that are on there. Again, going to studentloan.gov or contacting your loan servicer, they will help you get the best plan you can have that's for you right there. And also, again, I know a lot of people may feel like, they're going back into repayment and maybe it's a debtor and they're going to be rude, but I have not met a rude servicer yet. They know that their job is here to help you do the best, get the best plan you can. And they've been very nice and will work with you and understand the many situations that occur. They know life happens, so they will work with you if you get with your servicer. So you got to stay informed about the policy changes, and right now everything is changing so fast. It is hard to kind of keep up on things, but then again, you can always call us or email us at dau@pstc.edu. Ask us any questions that you have, and we can try to keep you up as well. Your servicer will keep you up as well. And studentaid.gov, usually at the top when you log in when there's something new, it will also keep you up as well. But you want to make sure that you're keeping up on what's going on because the changes are fast right now. That being said, you do want to make sure that the servicer has your correct information. By law, they are required to call you every 30 days and email you every 60 days. Every other month, they're going to do one's going to be a call, email, and let you know that you're in repayment, how many days you are behind, 30, 60, 90, 180. But they're going to try to get a hold of you. But if they don't have the most updated email or your most updated phone number, they won't be able to get a hold of you. And you might get surprised all of a sudden that you have a loan repayment that you didn't know about. So really, it's up to you. If you had a loan, you should find out who your servicer is and sign up with them, and you can see what's going on with the plan when you're going to go into repayment. So when you graduate, when you go less than half time, when you quit school, like I said, if you haven't had a loan before, you can have a 6-month grace period, but I would still go in to find out who my servicer was and go ahead and set up my account with the servicer and use the most updated information. If you're going to go backward into payment right away, I definitely would find out who my servicer is, make sure they have my correct information so they can contact me with any changes that may be going on. Again, they are very helpful. Do not run and hide from the servicer. They are your friend. They're here to help you. And we here at Pellissippi, the DAU, we're here to help you as well. So seek assistance if needed. If you're uncertain about which plan to choose or how to apply, The loan servicer will let you know. Give you all the different options that you have. federalstudentaid.gov is the official website for more than comprehensive information. It's a great tool. I highly recommend going there. By proactively selecting and enrolling in a repayment plan that fits your financial situation, you can manage your student loans effectively and work towards financial stability. Again, you do not want to, you do not want to get behind on your loans, because then it's going to affect your credit rating. You definitely don't want to go into default, because once you go into default, the servicer doesn't have it. It goes to a guarantor, and you're going to be charged a fee for that. And then you're going to be charged you won't be charged, but your credit score will get a big hit and go down there. Then what they can do, the Treasury can take your tax return. They can garnish your wages. If you've got disability, they will prorate whatever, but they can take it from your disability. You do not have as many options in setting up the different repayment plans when you go into default. So you do not want to go into default. They will get their money one way or the other. You want to be on your terms, not their terms. So set up a payment plan, keep up on that, and that should help you out. So again, the references I talked about is you can go to NSLDS, and there that you will ask you to enter some information, your birthday, your social security number, your name, everything. But you can find out what your loans are, who has them. My favorite, though, as you already know, because I've been mentioning it like 10 times, is studentaid.gov. You can go there, log in. You'll log in with your FSA ID, and it'll know everything. And you can do the simulator and see what's best for you. You can ask questions, and they also have other videos that you can watch and see what's going on. Then again, you can always contact us here at Pellissippi at dau@pstcc.edu. So that's all I've got. Let's see if there's any questions or anything that came in. Let's see. Does anybody have any questions? We'll give it a minute. Let's see if anyone has. While I'm still looking for questions if you want, but I think another thing I can cover. So there are four servicers. Your loan is with one of these servicers most likely. It's either Aidvantage, Ed Financial, Nelnet, or Mohila. Those are the servicers that have the students that I've worked with. It seems like most of them have been with Aidvantage, but that doesn't mean that yours is. It could be with someone else. I'm going to go ahead and check my notes while I'm seeing if any questions come in here, see if I can go over anything else here. Already talked about default. That's not a good thing, because it would really hurt your credit score. If you go into default, you either have what's called a rehabilitation, which you have to make 9 payments in a row to get back out. Then it goes to the servicer, or you can consolidate all your loans, and then it'll go back to the servicer. But that's still affected your credit score and the payments that you have to make. See if I have anything else I want to cover real quick before. Yeah, again, the servicer is required by law to let you know that you are going back into repayment. So they would try to call you, email you, but I'm not going to say half, but I know, again, when I'm working with a lot of students, these students are back in repayment, and their information is not updated with the servicer, so the servicer couldn't get a hold of them. So again, make sure that your information is up to date, your email is up to date, your phone number is up to date, because you don't want your wages garnished or your tax refund kept. I have got a few phone calls from people that's going, I don't understand, I didn't get my tax return. And then we did some digging, and we found out it was because they did not make any payments on their loans.
There are a couple of questions that came in.
Okay, let's see.
The first one is from Tara. Who at Pellissippi handles PSLF? Do you know who the HR contact is?
I believe it's Liz in HR resources, but you can also email me at pstcc.edu. I can go ahead and find out for sure. But I really HR has to show that you're working here and send that in there. And the students that I've talked to and some of the people that work here have sent it to HR. And I believe it's Liz. I'm not sure of Liz's last name right now, but Liz in HR.
Liz Ross. Great.
Yeah.
And the next question is, I am in Tennessee Reconnect and don't have any loans. When university becomes a concern, would it make more financial sense to go part-time and avoid taking a loan, or take the loan and go full-time?
That is going to be a personal decision. I really can't tell you. I personally don't like loans. I would rather try to pay out of pocket or try to see what other scholarships are out there. There are other scholarships, and the school that you go to could offer scholarships. I would try to get as much free money as possible because a loan is just that. A loan does charge interest, and you do have to pay it back. But again, that's going to be a personal choice. If you want to go to you graduate earlier and get the loan so you can do that, that's really up to you. It's not really a question I can answer, but go back into me, my personal choice would be to go half time, not get any loans because you're gonna have books and stuff like that, and just try to pay out of pocket and find any free money as much as possible. Any other questions? Okay. Well, I don't think there's any other questions. And actually, we're almost at 12 o'clock. This took a little bit longer than I thought, but that's good. That's fine. We had some good questions. So again, if you do have some more after this, pstcc.edu, and we can answer any questions you have. Thank you for attending.
Just to confirm, David, the email is dau@pstcc.edu, correct?
Thank you very much for catching me on that. You are correct. dau@pstcc.edu. Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate it.